Alright guys, let us move on to the next topic. The next topic is the Lerner's Index. Okay, this is also very important because in 2025 alone there were two questions on this topic. Okay, so that makes it very important. So let us see what this is. The Lerner's Index is a measure of a firm's market power. Basically, how much a firm can set prices above the marginal cost. Okay, because the firm is greedy, the firm will try to set their price as high as possible compared to the marginal cost. Okay, so let us see some basics about this as well. It was proposed by AP Lerner in 1934. We'll come back to the value a little later. Let us see what the formula for Lerner's index is. Okay, so we write L is the Lerner's index. Okay, L is equal to price minus marginal cost upon price. Okay, now this part, the numerator, this we call the markup. Okay, this is the markup, that what is the difference between the price and the marginal cost for the firm. Okay, how much above the marginal cost is the firm setting its price. So this is going to be the left hand side of the Lerner's index. We are going to understand the right hand side in just a second. Before that, let us see what the value of L can range from. Okay, it ranges from 0, where at the value of 0 it is perfect competition. How? We are saying when P minus MC upon P is equal to 0. This is only possible when P is equal to MC. Okay, so when P is equal to MC, and when is P is equal to MC, I have told you this already. Whenever you see P equal to MC, without a doubt in your mind, you have to say this is perfect competition. Okay, because in no other case is P is equal to MC. So here there is no market power with the firm. So as you go closer and closer to 0, the market power of the firm continues to decrease. And let us see what happens when the L goes closer to 1. It is strong monopoly power, which means that price is much greater than MC, because the formula is not just this, it is also divided by P. Okay, so suppose the price is 5. Okay, cost is say 2. So here L is going to be 0.4, right? So it is even less than half, even though there is a markup of 3, right? Okay, so it was 0.6, so slightly higher than half. So when P is much greater than the marginal cost, let us say 100 minus 1 upon 100, so 99 upon 100, so 0.99, right? So look at how big the price is and how small the marginal cost is. So as it goes closer and closer to 1, we say the monopoly power gets stronger and stronger. So this is the left hand side of the Lerner's index. Now let us see what the right hand side is. The right hand side is nothing but 1 upon the modulus of price elasticity of demand. So if we just equate the two, the complete formula for Lerner's index, the one that you are going to be using in all of the questions, is this. Very important. Okay, very important. So this is the formula, that P minus MC upon P is equal to the inverse of price elasticity of demand. Let us see a question on this. Okay, we will understand more in depth what this exactly means with a PYQ. This was asked in 2024. It is question number 17. For a profit maximizing monopolist, the ratio of profit margin to price, also known as the Lerner index or the relative markup, has a relationship with the price elasticity of demand at profit maximizing price. Then which of the following statements is correct? Okay, so let us read the first one. The larger the elasticity of demand at profit maximizing price, the greater is the relative markup. Let us write the formula one more time. Okay, so the first statement is saying that the larger is this value. Okay, the larger is going to be this value. Do you think that is true in any universe? Do you think that can be possible? That is absolutely impossible, because this value is the inverse of this. Okay, so the greater the price elasticity of demand, the smaller will be the markup. Okay, so let us take a small example. Let us just say that first the price elasticity of demand is just 1, right? So we will say that P minus MC upon P. Now if the price elasticity increases to 2, so now it is equal to 2. So what will you say about this part? Only the numerator. You will say that the marginal cost has increased, because of which, because price is the same. Okay, this is the same. So because of an increase in marginal cost and a decrease in markup, increase in MC, decrease in markup. What is markup? Markup is just P minus MC. So because of a decrease in markup, you can say that the markup and price elasticity of demand have an inverse relationship. Okay, price elasticity and of demand and markup have a inverse relationship. So let us see the statement now. Larger elasticity, greater relative markup. Absolutely incorrect. Now let us see the third statement first. Okay, or the second one first. So the power to sustain a price higher than the marginal cost depends only on the profit maximizing price. The power to sustain a price higher than marginal cost, okay, only depends on the price. So this is basically saying that the numerator here, or the markup here, is only going to be depending on the price. So no matter what the cost is, this statement is trying to say that if you increase the price further, you can control the markup. But that is not true. You also have to keep in mind the marginal cost. Okay, so this statement is also wrong. Now let us see the last statement first. At revenue maximizing price, revenue maximizing, not profit maximizing. Okay, this is the confusion that this was the toughest part of this particular question. The part where most of the students got confused and did a mistake was that they thought that the revenue maximizing price and the profit maximizing price are going to behave in the same manner, right? Let us see further. At revenue maximizing price, price elasticity of demand is greater than unity. No, we have seen this before, but this is true for the profit maximizing price. When we talk about the revenue maximizing price, revenue will always be maximum when marginal revenue is 0. Okay, because right now we are not talking about cost. We have not taken cost into the picture. We are just asking at what point will the revenue be maximum. So revenue is still positive here, here. What if MC is here, right? That is the profit maximizing price, right? But we are talking about revenue maximizing price. So it will only be at this point when marginal revenue is absolutely 0. And we have seen this already. At what point of elasticity in the demand curve is marginal revenue equal to 0? At unitary elastic point. But here it says that price elasticity of demand is greater than unity, so that is also incorrect. So the only statement that we have left is this. But let us also see this statement, that why is it true. uh, the profit maximizing price given costs are greater than 0. We have, so this is given that MC is greater than 0. Okay, then the price elasticity of demand is strictly larger than unity. Is that true? Yes, that is absolutely true, because first of all, we have seen that we are talking about the profit maximizing price. Okay, costs are greater than 0, which means that MR is equal to MC. So MR is also greater than 0. And at what part of the demand curve is MR greater than 0? It is on this part, on the elastic part of the demand curve. So that means price elasticity of demand is indeed strictly larger than unity. So this is absolutely correct, right? So just so I think only in the first statement. Okay, in the first two statements you had to use this formula, and in the next two statements you had to use the formula that we have done before and the graph that we have seen before. Okay, that is also a part of this formula where we take MR. Okay, now let us see a very easy numerical. This was asked in 2025. Okay, so let us try and solve this. We know that Lerner Index, a measure of market power, is defined as this, where M and MCR, price and marginal cost. If profit maximizing firm faces, okay, we have the demand curve of the firm. We want to find the Lerner Index. We want to find the Lerner Index. Okay, how can we do that? How do you think we should proceed if we do not have the marginal cost? All we have is the demand curve. We can just work with the demand curve. Okay, so you know that L on the right hand side we had seen that this is also the Lerner index. We do not necessarily have to calculate P minus MC upon P, right? This is also giving us the exact same value. So how do you think that we can move on and calculate the price elasticity of demand? How do you think we can do that? Price elasticity of demand, the most important part, whatever you are doing, if you are practicing the numericals, the first step that you always have to do even in the exam is to write the formula on top, right? If you are stuck somewhere, the formula is going to help you. The elasticity of demand is, we know that it is nothing but change in q upon change in p into p upon q. And what is change in q upon change in p? We can also write it, the slope we can also write as this. This is actually 1 upon slope, right? Okay, this is 1 upon slope. So this is what we have. Now we just want this. So we are going to be differentiating on both sides with respect to p. So what will you get here? You will get, this was p raised to the power minus 2. So just p raised to the power minus 3. 14 p raised to the power minus 3. This is okay, right? So this is your first equation. Now all you have to do is multiply this with p upon q. So 14 or you can write 14 upon p cube multiplied by p divided by what was q? Q was, here it is 7 upon p square, so that will also go in the numerator. And what are we calculating? This is the price elasticity of demand. Okay, so p cube gets cancelled, this gets cancelled, we get elasticity of demand is equal to 2. It is equal to 2, right? And now we know that the Lerner's index is nothing but 1 upon elasticity of demand. It is 1 upon 2. It is equal to 0.5. Very easy, very simple question, and this came for 2 marks. Okay, as you can see, this is the 56th question in the paper, and this was for 2 marks. So these are free marks. Okay, you cannot let these marks go, right? Okay.